Hi, it's Carlos, your Christmas MTR guy. So here I am with my little Christmas tree, Christmas jumper with the googly eyes and everything. Some of you may have seen that before, but it's one of my favorite ones. I have a few, to say the least. So we're at the final video at the end of the year. So it's the end of the calendar year, midpoint in Microsoft's financial year. So I think it's a nice time to sort of end with a really interesting one, actually. I want to talk to you about putting the face on AI. And don't worry, it's not one of these Nick Cage and John Travolta face-off dealies.
His face.
It's actually to do with a term that Jabra have thrown around, which is putting the face on AI, meaning about the eyes, the ears, and the mouth of AI. And why is that important? Because essentially we're talking about the camera, the microphones, and the speakers. Well, they all have camera, microphones, and speakers, right? When it comes to meeting rooms technology, in order to capture for a Teams rooms meeting. But there's very few that are doing it really well out there right now, and Jabra are amongst the best at what they're doing and capturing that in the highest possible fidelity. Why is that important? So let me break this down a little bit for you. Now, some of you may not realize I spent over 2 decades, a bit more than 2 decades to say the least, in the professional audiovisual field before I joined UCC and moved into becoming the Microsoft Teams Rooms program manager. And ultimately, one of the biggest areas that I found that was often less considered, underlooked, for lack of a better word, and I was guilty of this when I first started my career, is the audio. People would focus on the big displays, on the big projection, and make sure that that was prevalent in the room. But as we've all experienced, if we have a poor audio quality meeting, virtual meeting, actually it's very, very, very draining. It's exhausting, in fact, and I suffer from migraines, and I've actually had migraines induced as a result of really poor audio quality, I must stress, meetings in the past. So actually, audio is a hugely important element. And you might think, well, yeah, why is it so important? Well, look at it this way. You can cut out the video part and still have an audio call, but you can't do it in reverse. Not unless you happen to be hearing impaired or deaf and you're quite adept at lip reading, naturally. So, but there's obviously majority of people won't be that. So it is hugely important that the audio quality is really, really high. But for another aspect as well, it's not just for the sake of comfort on there, it's also for the sake of technology and function. Now, as we've already entered into the enhanced modern workplace, the AI-powered workplace, and you'll hear me talk about AI, everybody's talking about AI now. It's so important, and it's incumbent on us to provide the best possible quality of input so that the solutions like Copilot and the agents that are being generated now and developed for use and functionality actually have the best possible use and functionality going onwards. And what does that mean? At the end of the day, it's like a diet. It's like a car. You put bad fuel into your body, you put bad fuel into a car, and you're going to get a poor performance out on the other side. You're only as good as what you put in, or it's only as good as what you put in. The same with programming. It's the same with software. The software is only as good as the programming that's put in at the front end, and that's very true with AI in the meeting room space. It's only as good as what you provide it, and if you provide in poor audio and poor visuals, then you're obviously not going to have the best follow-on experience when it comes to transcriptions and your follow-on actions that the likes of Copilot, Facilitator Agent, and other agents besides can actually facilitate for you. So why is that really important, and why are the companies we're going to be talking about here, the brands, for example, such as Shure, which have provided me this wonderful mic, and as you can hear, it picks up my voice really well. It's key to a good user experience, and I think that's very important. So thank you, Adam Bootle from Shure, for providing me with this Shure MV7 Plus podcast mic. Really phenomenal piece of kit. Does exactly what it's meant to do in capturing that full nuance, that rich voice audio experience, so that you, the viewer, the listener, can have the best possible experience at your end and not feel fatigued by the constant videos that are being pumped out there these days. And there are a lot of them, to which I'm one. So it's a key experience, and maybe I'll do a piece to camera specifically around this particular mic and the other offerings that Shaw have to offer. Maybe we get them on video as well. But today isn't about these guys. Today is about Jabra. It's a Gitex video which was taken back in October, but as we're at the end of the year, I thought it was a good one to sort of wrap everything up in terms of what that means, putting the face of AI, or the face on AI, if I can get my teeth in. Essentially, it's about considering all the AI elements. Now, Jabra have a very, very rich pedigree in audio. You know, they are amongst the best in terms of their audio capability. They have some great headsets. If you've ever used their headsets, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. In fact, one of my go-to headsets is this one here, which is the Evolve 265 Flex, which is the flexible one that folds and so forth, right? So I have a number of different devices which I use depending on the type of call I'm having and the type of day, whether I want the over-ear experience for additional concentration, the open-ear experience with bone induction, or the in-ear experience for portability and comfort in that sense. So there's horses for courses, essentially. So depending on your experience and what you need it for, you'll have a preference, which is great. Technology is there to provide function to us. And the meeting room space is no different. And we're talking about Teams rooms here. So the importance of this is that it's only as good as what you put in. So ultimately, it has to be the best quality audio possible. Now, with Jabra on their meeting room devices, so the P50 and P40 VBS, the video bar systems, they've got phenomenal microphone pickups. They've got great, really high quality, high fidelity speakers. So you in the meeting room can interpret what's being said by the far end and the attendees from the virtual world. But also their cameras, the 180 degree cameras on the P50, and I forget how many degrees, 140 degrees possibly. Don't quote me on that one. The P40 VBS I'm referring to here, forgive me, actually, it's 180 degrees still, but only with two cameras, so even more impressive in itself. We might just need to edit that bit out afterwards.
I don't think so.
But so what I'm trying to say here is that they have a lot of experience in digitally stitching and using AI to stitch camera to the visuals ultimately, and they've got a great pedigree in technology within the audio. So who better to actually put something together as a term that they're running, which is putting the face on AI. So watch the video, have a listen to Abraham and Anne-Sophie as they talk about the importance of what their solution brings to the meeting room space, and it becomes that much more important when you consider things like Express Install, for example. And again, there's a little teaser. I'm just going to tease you with keep an ear out in 2026 for some key announcements from me around Express Installs, especially leading into ISE, Integrated Systems Europe 2026 in February. There'll be some new things to be said there. So ultimately, I'm not going to say any more. That's a New Year thing again, another video for then. But there'll be more content coming out from me then around this and other things besides. So, but without any further delay, at the end of the day, I'm going to let Anne-Sophie and Abraham do the talking around putting the face on AI and what that means and the reliability of that and the importance of the highest quality. And then we'll see each other in the new year. So for now, all that's left for me to do is to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you for all the coffees with Carlos that you shared with me this year. And hopefully I'll see you again in 2026. So Happy New Year and a Merry Christmas.
Good. What time of the day are we on now? I can't even remember. It's day 4, Gitex 2025. I'm joined with some more special guests today. It is the afternoon of day 4. So I'm joined with, ladies first, Anne-Sophie Pavie, who is Jabra. I had to struggle with yellow all around me, and I still had to struggle to
say yellow. It works also.
It's really tiring after 4 days, right? It really gets to us in a little while. And then we have Abraham Mammen, which is Mammen, that way around. Forgive me, Abraham. I mixed up your vowels there.
Yeah, Abraham is good.
I think I need some food. That's probably what it is. Low sugar. I'm going to blame low sugar. So I'll let you both introduce yourselves and explain to our viewers, listeners, what is your role within Jabra, why are you here, and then we can get into a little chat about how Jabra is putting the face on AI. I know, we'll explain what that means in a minute, but we'll start ladies first.
Sure. I'm Anne-Sophie, as you said, working for Jabra since 2018, meaning 7 years now. working now as a Senior Strategic Alliance Manager at Jabra for the DACH region and also Middle East for a short time. And yes, my expectation for the Gitex is, first of all, look at the trends. We all know Gitex is also here to show us what's going to happen, what's possible, what you should look for opportunities, also business-wise. And so the second great reason why I am here is also to meet my partners. So we had a great meeting with Microsoft. We have a great meeting with England, and of course to meet the customer too. But it will be more the part of Abraham.
Absolutely. Very lovely segue as well. I like the way you did that. Really good.
Thank you, Anne-Sophie. I'm Abraham, by the way. Delighted to be back and seeing you all once again. I'm part of the sales team at Jabra, based in Dubai. I'm the director for sales for Middle East. And Carlos, as you know, I've been here for the last 4 years, and in which three and a half years I've been spending as the director for business development for our video business, of the intelligent video solutions.
Very familiar face in the region, aren't you? Mostly everybody knows you. They know you. AB, right, is a common
That's a
abbreviation.
common one. And I thought Abraham was a little difficult. People mistake me for Ibrahim. Both are okay for me, but AB is stuck on well.
It's stuck, right?
Good too.
I mean, it's at least it's easier for the Westerners to try and wrap their heads around it, wrap their tongues and lips around. So let's talk. I feel like I've said this many times this week already. Let's talk AI. Why not? Let's do another AI podcast. But in reality, actually, this is going to be a very different one because Jabra are very well known in the audio field. They're not as well known for their video devices, although unjustifiably, because you've got fantastic video devices out there with the Panacast series of video bars, and what you're doing and what you have done from the start with the AI and the way you manage the stitching together of the image tech that you get from the devices has always been really impressive. You were AI before AI was really a term within our industry. So I want to talk a little bit, again, like we were saying, putting the face on AI, which is and you coined this when we were chatting in preparation for this, Anne-Sophie, which is putting the eyes, the ears, and the mouth on AI. Let's start with, this time I'm not going to go ladies first. I want to go with Abraham in terms of what does it mean to put the ears on AI? So we're talking really more the pedigree that Jabra has in terms of audio. So obviously a long-standing history and long-standing pedigree with releasing headsets and high fidelity, high clarity audio, which is essential in the world of AI, whether it's personal or other devices. So can you just explain a little bit of what Jabra has done, what they're doing, and what that means?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a great scenario to describe it. We're at Gitex, it's so crowded. I need to take a call, and that device has to be a Microsoft certified device from Jabra. The call quality is so different because your voice gets the center point. The noise around you does not go to the other side. You sound extremely professional. But also another thing, you get that focus bubble, right? With active noise cancelers or headsets. So what we do at Jabra is to be making sure that you are the center of the conversation. The conversation is given the absolutely important. Anything other than that is taken away.
It's fantastic.
I would add something if you hello. So this is all about productivity in all kind of our environment. And AI, I would like to talk about AI.
Why not? Let's throw a few more in there.
AI is helping us a lot on productivity, and to make it AI easy. To make it easy for AI to help you to be productive, you need to have clear data and good headsets, professional headsets, certified headsets, and we can talk also about the camera, is feeding the AI with absolutely clear quality so the AI can provide you with what you need.
That's essential, isn't it? Audio intelligibility in the meeting room, in day-to-day, on a client basis, on a personal device basis, is so important. Like you were saying, it's about creating that bubble that you live in from an audio perspective. Not only is it important that you're coming through clearly and you're coming through isolated, but actually the other end aren't essentially getting fatigued by what's going on in the background. Now, we have a lot of background noise here. It's a show with over 250,000 guests coming through the doors. It's very, very noisy. Obviously, we will clean this up in post-production, so you may not actually get to hear it by the time I've actually set this.
But we hear it.
But
can
we hear
confirm.
it. We're experiencing it.
And we do that exactly live, right? If you're on a Microsoft Teams call and you're using a Jabra headset, you will not hear the background anyways.
No,
So it's
it's
like
incredible.
a pre-production, on-production, live production, if you want to call it.
I'm often really impressed by the way active noise cancellation works. I mean, it's a weird magical process where you fire the opposite noise to the noise that's being heard, and somehow that just cancels out by magic.
Absolutely.
It's a lot more than magic, obviously. It's actually technology.
Yeah, I
at
mean,
the end of the day.
it's one of the oldest technology in the market. Music companies did that greatly, but we understood that that's not enough. So we invented a few more extra stuff around it. We had this so-called hybrid active noise cancellation with multiple mics on your speaker, headset gear. They listen to surrounding, even mics inside, very near to your ear, hearing what you are actually hearing.
And people don't realise that, will they? But actually, it's not just one driver that's giving you the audio that you're hearing in your ear. There's a lot going on with regards to the microphone technology.
Absolutely.
Not just the one that's picking up your voice, but everything else as well to provide that cancellation, to provide the data, like you said, Anne-Sophie, that is being picked up by the devices, but then will be interpreted by other devices or other platforms. We're here in the Microsoft Teams room setup, as you can see from the displays around you. In fact, I love saying this because I almost mess it up every single time I say it. We are, and welcome to, the Ingram Micro presents Microsoft Teams Room's AI-powered workplace podcast room. So whatever that acronym breaks down to, probably like, not exactly rolling off the tongue. We'll have to choose a shorter title for the space next year. But what do you think? Be careful, because the AI agents are watching you. They're picking up everything you're saying. They will transcribe and send that to the outside world. But it's that whole point, isn't it? That AI means something different to everybody else. But in the world of audio and personal collaboration, there's so much more going on than people appreciate. Quite often it's a case people will look at the price of a headset and they'll think, oh, I can get a pair of earbuds cheaper than that from a well-known fruit manufacturer. But they're not going to do the same that you're doing because of your pedigree in the professional world and the amount of history that you've got in terms of producing these devices. It's so important because you're the ears of AI.
Yep.
You're, to some extent, the mouth of AI with the speakers that you have on the bars, like the P50, P50 VBS.
Fennekas 50 is
Exactly, the P40 as well, which we'll talk about P40 shortly because I do want to touch upon the Express install. So this is something that's a new concept, a new standard from Microsoft, which is slowly being adopted, but there's a great opportunity there for many of our partners to really understand what that means. So let's talk about the mouth on AV then. We've spoken about the ears. Let's talk about the mouth in terms of what the mouth and the eyes, which is essentially the video bar for us.
So maybe let's start by the beginning. We know a lot of companies want their employee to go back to the office, meaning most of their meetings are hybrid. That's nothing new for this. But it means also you need inclusive meetings, also nothing new. But you need people to feel they can bring their ideas, they can listen to everybody, they as if they were all in the same room. And we notice with Jabra, hybrid meetings are better than all presence meeting because you can have specialists who are not able to join because they are in other countries. So you have the best of the best, whatever the location. And also because the technology, this is what we want to talk about, is making you feel, okay, you are here. You are not remote somewhere in the corner,
Yes.
in the dark
You're
corner.
present.
Yeah, you're present and you don't even need to talk. You can say, you can only do like this, or maybe taking notes and someone can react to this. Okay, I'm seeing you taking notes. What do you want to share or something like this, right?
Yeah.
And this is exactly what makes a meeting productive.
That's it. And obviously the transcription that you get on a platform like Microsoft Teams and Teams Rooms is only as good as the information it's able to perceive. So if the audio is not great, whether it's from a personal headset or from a video bar, if it's not picking up high fidelity, high clarity, you can tell I'm struggling at the end of the week now. I can't even get my words out. If it's not picking up the high fidelity, high clarity audio, it's going to struggle with that transcription, isn't it? It's going to struggle with understanding what the meeting is about. And of course, with facilitator agents and the other agents that have been released almost seemingly daily for enhancement of that meeting room experience, it's going to struggle to give you it's going to struggle to give you a competent feedback on what's going on there, People they're not going to get the full appreciation of what the meeting is about. The summarization is not going to be correct, and ultimately, it's going to lead to a poor user experience. But beyond that, it could lead to mistakes. And this is the whole
Yeah,
point,
it makes
right?
you. Yeah, exactly. We don't want to make mistakes. We don't want people to get tired, and we want meetings to be productive. We know we have plenty of meetings during the week, and we want them to bring to something concrete. Right?
Also, it's very important to also understand that there are a lot of tools from Microsoft now with the Copilot for the transcription to make it wonderful. The experience, if you're on a Teams call, you can easily do minutes of the meeting in a few clicks of your fingers. But then when you walk into a meeting room, that gets tough, right? Because the speaker is not identified. These are the things which we make easy. You walk in a meeting room, still you get the minutes of the meeting. Carlos is understood as Carlos, not a speaker one or a speaker two in the meeting room. Technology which really matters for today's technology, products which works with Copilot. And my favorite though still is how we could put a name tag to you even if you walk into the meeting room.
Yes,
now that's
amazing,
AI, that's real tech which matters really for today's customers, isn't it, Carlos?
It's providing value on top of what you can do yourself. Anyone can write their name in there, but it's actually providing that extra value where you don't have to get involved. And this is where I see AI going, where you're not touching things. It's doing all of the stuff by learning your habits, by learning your processes, and then it just becomes intuitive. What you do on a daily basis, and then all the little bitty bits here and there is being done for you by AI, whatever that ultimately means to you as an individual, where you work. So it's really interesting.
And it can come to a meeting room too. Talking
Yes,
about habits.
exactly.
If you have the eyes of Jabra connected to the technology of Microsoft, for example, the AI of Microsoft. I'm not saying Copilot, but it could be Copilot because maybe it's going to improve and have another name. I don't know.
Yeah.
It can tell you, okay, the room is like this. I know you prefer to have the room like this. Do you need more chairs? Do you need another room? Do you need something that makes your life easy, your business life easy?
Yeah, exactly. And let's talk about making business life easy, actually, because we're talking about AI, we're talking about simplicity, we're talking about clarity, and the crispness of the audio and the pickup and what we're doing with that. There is a concept. There is a new philosophy that's come out of Microsoft since the beginning of the year, which is Express Install, Express Rooms. Just briefly, for those that aren't aware of what Express Install means, Express Install is the ability to set up a room in 2 or maybe 1 hour or less with the simplified technology, which is available from the manufacturers of the hardware and also the Teams Rooms platform, and making the deployment of that solution really, really simple and intuitive. Now, obviously, every OEM manufacturer has gone down the route of looking at this, but you were the first to release an Express Install bar, weren't you?
Well, AI is very critical for technology. Then we realized it's not all about AI, it's some common sense too. That's where we brought in this amazing new packaging for Planetcast 40. We made it very simple. We made a kind of like a slot which you can just tear off and access without opening up the OEM box.
It's
so a
good,
technical guy who's installing it, he have 10 rooms to be installed. He just don't have to open anything. He just lights a small door behind the OEM box, connects the cable in. He can do the provisioning in a matter of seconds, and he can just close it and send the video room to a specific room and get it installed. Practicality. Now, this could save a huge number of hours of technical, and that actually, end of the day, will bring the costing down a lot on the installation as well. Brilliant, isn't it?
And that's the whole point of Express Install, right? It simplifies it, it reduces the cost, it may the cost of scaling a solution through your estate is much easier, but it also enables you to empower the smaller meeting room spaces where just you and I, maybe one of us might want to get together with the other and have a very quick meeting, but I do need to show you something on display. So instead of huddling around my laptop, my phone, my tablet, I need to show you something on display. I very quickly need to bring somebody in on this call, and that's what it's allowing us to do. Rather than occupying a 4 or 6 seater meeting room space for just 2 people and a far-in participant, what it allows us to do is actually have that wide field of view experience that Jabra is renowned for. You're famous for it with your 180-degree cameras. The P40 is not quite 180, but it was developed
P40 is
specifically
180,
for the task.
180 but 2 lenses.
Yeah, so
Oh, forgive me,
engineer.
of course, it's 2 instead of 3 lenses, but it is still 180.
I think this is a fantastic thing about our company, right? We listen to the market. We have great products. One of the requirements for the market was that can we have a little more price conscious product on Android, let's say. So we engineered our product. We just need 2 cameras, instead of 3 to do the 180. And that means less number of chipset, but we deliver the same quality of a P50 on a P40, but with a better price. 1499, that's a killer of a price.
That is a killer of a price.
Absolutely.
That's a real market driver, to be honest with you. So let's be
About
honest.
this, I remember the internal meeting we had, the internal training we had on the P40 when it was new, and there was a quiz in the end, and they were like, okay, what's the difference between Panacas 50 and Panacas 40? And you have different with like 180 degrees and so on, and you just have to click all of them because Panacas 40, no, not
exactly the same.
not the difference, but similar points, because Panacas 40 can exactly do the same the Panacas 50, but with a better price.
Absolutely,
for
yeah.
smaller budgets, right?
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because you've almost taken away a market segment for yourselves.
Absolutely.
From
I mean,
yourself,
a
by
small
yourselves.
meeting room, the biggest challenge is can the camera see everybody in the room? And if you can't, then what's the point of having a video system in that room? So that's what we are
Exactly.
resolving, real stuff.
So let's boil this down then. You've got a very quick to deploy solution. You've got, and I remember the first time I heard about the slot in the back of the package was Michael Tressler. He turned around to me and said, "Hey, Carlos, come and check out my back slot." Okay, that raised eyes to say the least, or eyebrows. But it was brilliant. He showed me immediately. He goes, and I thought that was so cool from a provisioning standpoint.
Isn't it?
The
Yeah.
amount of time you can save, and it's then a packaged product because you provide the sticky label to be able to put over the top of it again
Absolutely.
to demonstrate if it's been tampered with since.
Absolutely.
So you thought of everything on that one. I love that. Then take into account the fact that it's a really competitively priced product. So any of our resellers that are watching this, it is something that if you're looking to get into the field of meeting room specification, if you're not a traditional Pro AV reseller, you may be an MSP, then this is a really good way to reach out to your customers and express to them your offering of something that can satisfy quite a few spaces. It's not just express install that the P40 sets in. It's made for express install, but it's not its limitation by any stretch of the imagination. And of course, if you look into bigger meeting room spaces, you have the P50, and you can go with a video bar system. I'm very keen to understand, and I'm conscious of time, and we are running out of time. We could talk for hours around this, right?
Sure.
But I'm very interested to understand what's next with Jabra. Now, in my opinion, there is a really glaringly obvious elephant in the room here in terms of what Jabra doesn't have, and that is a large meeting room solution.
Thank you.
I've said that for the last couple of years, that
Absolutely.
through the whisper rooms and so on. Obviously, the NDAs have gone now. A couple of years ago, I mentioned this, so it's not a thing. But ultimately, it always struck me as obvious that you've got up close, you've got medium, you do it exceptionally well. When are you giving us a large meeting room experience?
Well, as a matter of fact, if you had signed a new NDA and if you had listened to our guys sharing the secrets, what we have done, you would have known that. But I can say is that we threw in a teaser recently with Jabra and Hudley together, and watch that space, and you will get to know more. So this is all I can share you right
That's all
now.
you can share right now. I didn't even get the opportunity to lean in and say, "Tell me more," but I'll be doing that throughout the
But
entire
press
series.
announcement is out, so we can say it's coming. We cannot say when, but we can
You've
say
got that partnership with I'm going to assume the Hudley crew, given a large meeting room.
on the product development level. Yes.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's a really good partnership. That's a very strong
But
partnership
Carlos,
too.
really, if you look at it, what next is it's a very powerful question, right? I mean, when we look at the market, only 3% of huddle rooms are occupied by video. That's 97% of the market ready for us, for you partners out there to go
Yeah.
to. Only 9% of professionals use a professional headset. Now, I see 91% of the productive people who could buy a headset. And this is a shout out to all the resellers and system integrators out there. Get into this business. This is a fantastic business to be in, especially the headset business, through which you can also start selling video because it's super fast. You need that super fast selling product. It's easy to demo, couple of days and you're done, your PO is in.
And the opportunity for the reseller with headsets in particular is like
It's good margins too.
usually one or two
Ask the
headsets
right
per
questions
person.
and don't miss the opportunity.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they get damaged, let's be honest with you. People don't look after them. So instead of a 3-year refresh cycle for a meeting room, you have a 1-year refresh cycle. So as a reseller, this is a great market opportunity, right?
And of course a new generation. And we have this internal thing. We say it's 4, 8, 16. 4 for pace. How fast is this headset business? So you should be there. Everybody should be selling headsets. Number 8 looks like the chain of it's a most weakest chain in the communication business. You sell something, call center or unified company, if you have the wrong headset, useless.
Maybe an expensive platform, but if you have the wrong access,
It's useless,
I agree.
absolutely. And finally, 16 stand for the new generation of people coming into market. So finally, the headset and video business is no more a good to have technology. It's a must to have technology.
exactly,
If you talk to a new generation who lived during the hybrid way of life, they want to work hybrid. If you do not give them that headset or the tools or the laptops, they wouldn't join the company. So to attract
Exactly.
them, it is mandatory.
And
It's
it's
also
attracting the talent, right?
Yeah, a
Absolutely.
matter of being or feel valued in the company too, because they are also beautiful products and very professional products. And something I wanted to add also, if the reseller is not doing it, the customer is going to buy anyway, but not from the reseller,
from them,
from another one, right?
Yeah.
So don't miss the opportunity.
So get in there, get in this business. If you need help, just give us a buzz. We have easy
I'm just
contact.
curious. I'll challenge anybody out there when they finally listen to this podcast that to tell us a market segment or a market opportunity where 90% of the market is still uncatered for. Let's put the challenge
That's
out there.
not-
Let's see. Put us in our place and actually tell us if you know a better market opportunity than this. Just to be honest with you, with that much opportunity out there, with the refresh cycles we're talking about, and the entry that gives you into the meeting room space, which are a much higher ROI in terms of that space, it's a no-brainer, right? If I was a reseller right now, I'd be biting your arm off.
Okay, keep talking to us. We will train you how to sell our products. It's easy, but said that you need your help. We are here. That's what we are paid for.
We love to be
Indeed.
challenged. Also, if you have some new issues we don't know,
Yeah,
I've got lots
absolutely.
of new issues, but I don't think you're medically trained, so we're fine. We'll leave that one off the table. But no, look, this is fantastic. We could talk for hours and hours and hours. I'm very conscious that we have another podcast coming straight in after this. But look, Anne-Sophie, everyone, thank you very much for your
Such a
time.
pleasure.
Thank you,
Carlos.
Carlos.
It's always my pleasure. Really, really good to speak to you. Enjoy the rest of the show. There's not much time left now, but hopefully it will continue to be a strong week, and we'll see it out like the troopers that we are, right? So have a great time.
Thank you,
Thanks for
Carlos.
coming.
Keep rocking.
Thank you.